I think that this is the problem. This is the problem when you allow for a billionaire to make a $200 million donation. And so maybe we really do need to have campaign finance regulations in this country. I mean, essentially what is happening, and I love President Trump. I'm not saying that President Trump is bought and paid for, but
some of the most far-right MAGA supporters and pundits like Laura Loomer are starting to find out that maybe the left was correct all along. Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk broke all of this down. I'm going to share my thoughts on this too. This is another fun one. Let's get into this together.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, laser it in my brain. Yes, yes. I'm not saying Trump is a sellout. I'm not saying Trump is bought and paid for. But hit me with it one more. But hit me with that but one more time. That is the biggest but. I won't make any more jokes, but there are many I could make. Here we go. Let's keep going.
It sounds like people are scared of crossing the king of the world, Elon Musk, the monarch, okay? Nobody wants to cross this guy, the richest man in the world who controls access to social media, the digital town square, and is now basically has everybody in a codependent, abusive relationship like they're a bunch of junkies because he's been able to monetize the platform so that all the conservatives using his platform are essentially addicted. They're a bunch of addicts now, addicted to social media because their voices were silenced for so long. And it's like cutting a junkie off cold turkey. Okay, you're going to go crazy and you're going to have withdrawals. And he understands now that he's created this codependent junkie versus supplier relationship where if you question or if you try to criticize Elon Musk, you will be demonetized.
Wow. Hey, by the way, Laura and everybody else on the right, where the hell were you when it was the night of the long knives for journalists who were critical of Elon when he bought the platform early on? Where were you to defend Ken Klippenstein when he got banned for sharing the J.D. Vance dossier, which is incredibly analogous to what happened under Jack when the Hunter Biden laptop story, when that was censored? Literally, completely and utterly 100% analogous. You have Ken Klippenstein release the J.D. Vance dossier, Elon drops the hammer on him, fucking crickets on the right or outright support for Elon Musk and what he did. How about when Elon banned the Elon Jet account, which was not doxing because it was all publicly available information. He banned that. And how about when he banned all the journalists who reported on the fight between the Elon Jet account and Elon himself? Where were you then? Where were you then? So when Elon's banning the people you guys don't like, www.shh.com, right? But when oh my God, look, now he's banning Groypers, the Nick Fuentes followers. And is he banning them because they're flat out pro-Nazi? No, they've always been pro-Nazi. That was fine. He would even signal boost some outright Nazi content on Twitter. The reason he banned him is because they disagreed with him on the H-1B visas. They crossed him. And Laura lost her verification check. Others on the right, critical of Elon, lost their verification check, lost their ability to monetize on X. Well, what do you know? Turns out the lefties were right all along. Turns out the lefties were correct all along, but we're not done yet. We got more Laura Loomer, more.
And the thing is with all of this, Laura Loomer was in the inner circle there for a bit, 5 minutes, but she was in the inner circle for a little bit. And there were all the stories about the relationship that she had with Donald Trump, and there were some salacious accusations there and all that. Now, for whatever reason, she's on the outside. I don't know if it was just that she was too toxic or what. And she's on the outside looking in, and she's not happy with that Elon is the guy who's cuddling up to Trump at night. And like Kyle Kulinski is saying here, all of them, like Elon and Laura Loomer, they're all freedom of speech, and we're freedom of speech warriors, and you ought to be able to say whatever you want to say when it's them. But if it's someone else saying something about them or someone saying saying something that they don't like, we want to put the hammer down on them. And in terms of the left being correct, maybe Bernie was right all along, and other people like Bernie who have been saying for decades that we shouldn't allow people to amass this much wealth so that we have a guy that has as much money as some countries and now can essentially buy anything and anyone. So Laura Loomer, who I'm sure was against the idea and would probably still be against the idea of anything that, would cap people's income, that they couldn't have hundreds of billions of dollars. Well, we're seeing the danger of that right now with Elon Musk. And when he comes for conservatives and far right wingers and MAGA types, they don't like that. All of a sudden, they're not happy with a billionaire in charge of things.
Or admissions that turns out the left is actually right about everything.
And what we need to have a conversation about is, what is it going to mean for the future of our country, our national security, and the incoming Trump administration if we have a bunch of technocrats who are also essentially welfare queens because their companies are receiving government subsidies and they want to take over our defense industry?
I'm low-key convinced that a bunch of right-wingers on Twitter, now, after seeing Elon burn everybody and burn the country, now they're like plagiarizing the stuff I say, right? Who was the first one to call Elon Musk a welfare queen? Who was the first one to call him an immigrant, welfare queen, robber baron, and call for his deportation? Who led that charge? I was doing it before it was cool. I was doing it before it was popular. I was doing it and screaming at an angry horde and mob that wanted to behead me for telling the truth. Now all the Johnny-come-latelys are like, you know what? Turns out this guy's a welfare queen. Oh, is he? Is he? If only there was somebody to point it out beforehand and tell you the truth a long time ago. If only, right? If only. God, unbelievable, these people. Just fucking put it in all of your Twitter bios. Just put it. Kyle Kulinski was right about Elon Musk. Just write it. Just admit it. Just admit it.
Welfare queens because their companies are receiving government subsidies and they want to take over our defense industry. If you have a bunch of tech bros with billions of dollars and direct unfettered access to the vice president and the president of the United States, and then they are also, very cordial with our adversaries, as in China and Iran. We see that Elon Musk is having these meetings off the books with Iranian officials, with Chinese officials. What does that mean for us and the future of our constitutional republic?
Okay, hang on.
What does that mean? What does that mean for us and the future of our country? By the way, there have been so many flaming red flags. Just remember when that Mark Andreessen douchebag went on Rogan's show? You know, Rogan, the everyman, the down-to-earth regular guy who brings on a billionaire to spew propaganda on a fucking every other weekly basis, right? He brings on this Mark Andreessen guy to lie about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This guy says it's Elizabeth Warren's personal agency that she gets control. No, it's not. She came up with the idea, but it's not her agency. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau does exactly what it says in the name. This guy lied and said, oh, they debank people. That is literally the exact opposite of the truth. They protect against debanking. You know what else they do? They've returned $19 billion to Americans who were defrauded by big financial institutions. I know, I'm one of them. I told you guys the story, the fake identity theft protection shit that they sold me. I was paying $10 a month or whatever it was, and was for an extended period of time. And then one day I get a check in the mail from the CFPB, from the federal government, and it's for hundreds of dollars because it turns out there was no identity theft protection. They were committing fraud. They were just lying to nickel and dime me and many other people. This is what we're talking about. So this guy wants to shit on one of the best government agencies that's actually working for the American people. One of the absolute best government agencies looking out for regular average Joes and average Janes in this country who are getting shook down by big financial institutions. He said, we got to eliminate that one. Why does he actually want to eliminate that one? Because he's a con artist.
And the millionaires, multi-millionaires and the billionaires like him and like Elon Musk, they don't want any of these protections for any of us. And Laura Loomer doesn't care anything about that stuff either, or any of these other right-wing pundits. But now that Elon is an adversary against them and is not carrying the anti-immigration xenophobia torch in the way that they want it to be carried, and they feel like they were promised by Donald Trump and MAGA, who no longer needs them. He has their votes. He had their support to get elected. He doesn't need them anymore. He has Elon in there, And Elon and the other biz bros, tech bros, are going to try to hollow out the country even more than they already had. But it's hilarious, as Kyle Kulinski is saying here, and I don't know that he was the first, but he's been railing against Elon for a while. And again, Bernie Sanders has been talking about this literally for decades, warning about how dangerous billionaires can be and allowing people to get this close to power that have this much money. So it's hilarious to me, and it kind of falls on deaf ears, I believe, for right-wingers like Laura Loomer to suddenly be crying about this, because when liberals were saying this and progressives and people on the left were saying this literally for decades, oh, you try to do anything about that, that's communism and that's socialism and that's Marxism and all the other isms. But now suddenly that Elon Musk and Donald Trump aren't doing the things that they want them to do, oh, now they're mad about the billionaires. They're big mad. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is Kyle Kulinski right? Is Laura Loomer, even though she's very late to the party, is she right to be critical now of the billionaires like Elon Musk, even though she's disingenuous about this, I believe? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is Chris on Culture. I will see you in the next video.